Good morning, everyone. Welcome back to the another session of search engine optimization. Up till now, 4 points which we have covered regarding unit number 5. First topic we have covered in the video session 1, which is based on the measuring SEO success is essential to the SEO process. The second topic we have completed, that is based on the measuring search traffic. Third is called tying SEO to conversion and return on investment. And at last we have completed competitive and diagnostic search metrics key performance. In our today's session, we are going to start with the indicators for the long tail query. So let us begin with our today's session, which is based on the key performances indicator for the long tail SEO. In that, first topic is called branded to non-branded ratio. That means if your website is related with the branded items, at that time you need to find out that how many items are there which is related with a particular brand and how many items are related with the non-branded items, right? So that percentage ratio you need to find out. So this is the percentage of your natural search traffic that comes from the branded value versus non-branded keywords. If the ratio is high and most of your traffic is coming from the searches for your brand, at that time signals that your SEO is fundamentally broken. And the lower ratio is there, at that time more of the long tail query of natural search you likely to capture. So this matrix is excellent measure of the success of your SEO optimization initiative. I am going to repeat this point once again. Branded to non-branded ratio is nothing but it is a key performance indicator for the long tail SEO. You need to find out the ratio in the form of percentage, which is in the form of natural traffic which comes from branded to the non-branded keywords. If the ratio is high, at that time naturally the traffic is coming from the searches for your branded items. If the ratio is lower, at that time the searches is coming from the long tail or natural search results. So that matrix you need to measure. Unique crawled URLs. Now crawled means what? That is a role of crawler, and crawler is going to crawl those URL which is being indexed by the crawler. Or for Google, you are having Googlebot as a spider or crawler. So in unique crawled URL, it is a number of unique web pages on your website that are crawled by the search engine spider such as Googlebot. So using Googlebot, it is nothing but it is a spider or crawler given or provided by the Google search engine. So you are going to fetch unique pages which are available in the website. Next is called search visitors per contributing page. Now how many search visitors are there in the particular page? So you need to find out this ratio using search visitors per contributing page, and that can be find out using a given period of time, that this particular during this particular amount of time this many customers are there. So that ratio may be in the form of percentage for a particular amount of time. That time may be in the form of month, it is in the form of year, it is in the form of hours also, but it is based on the particular time duration. So this is the percentage of unique pages that yield search delivered traffic in a given month. This ratio essential is a key driver of the length of your long tail or natural search. So using natural search or long tail search, you are able to find out the ratio of visitors which is going to be contributed within the pages. So you can find out that ratio in the form of percentage based on the given amount of time. Next is called keywords per page. You can count the number of keywords you have used within one page, right? So that average you can find out using keywords per page. So this is the another way. It is the ratio of keywords to pages yielding search traffic. Yielding means you are going to create the traffic on the pages, right? So that is called yielding. So that ratio you are going to find out using keyword per page. Next is called search visitors per keywords. Suppose your website is related with the Pantaloon.com, right? Say for example. So Pantaloon is a search keyword through which people is going to visit your website. So using that particular keyword, how many visitors are there on that particular keyword, that ratio you can find out using search visitors per keyword. So this is a ratio of search engine delivered visitors to search term. This matrix indicates how much traffic each keyword drives means create. So how much traffic each keyword creates, and it is a function of your ranking in the search engine result pages. Next is called index to crawl ratio. Index to crawl ratio contains the ratio of pages indexed by the unique pages which is indexed by the crawler, and just because Googlebot crawls a page doesn't guarantee it will show up in Google index. So it may be possible that whatever the page is which is crawled by the crawler or Googlebot, there is not in the Google index. So it is a possibility that Googlebot crawler has a page which does not contain a guarantee to show it into the Google index. Next is called search visitors per crawled page. In this particular topic, you are having a calculation for the each search engine separately, and it is a measurement of how much traffic the search engine delivers for every page it crawls. So each search engine has a different audience in sight. It may be possible that for particular website it is a higher number of traffic on particular website using Google search engine, but on the same site in the Yahoo you are not having that much audience. So it is based on it depends on the search engine. So search visitors per crawled page you can consider, you can calculate based on the search engine data. So over here we are going to complete our first half portion of unit number 5. So over here we are going to complete the topics which are based on the tracking results and measuring success. Now we are starting with the another half portion of unit number 5, and in that unit the topic is what? An evolving art form, the future of SEO. In this we are going to complete 5 different topics: introduction, more searchable content and content types, search becoming more personalized and user influenced, increasing importance of local, mobile and voice recognition search, increased market saturation and competitions, and at last we are going to conclude our syllabus with SEO as an enduring art form. So let us begin with the introduction of second half unit of evolving art form, the future of SEO. Now the role of SEO professional is to bring more targeted traffic to the organization's website. So basically, when you are working as a SEO practitioner, at that time your first goal is what? To create traffic on the website. So that is the role of SEO professional. So this role will not change as technology changes. You are going to use any mechanism, you are going to use any technology. In all the cases, as a SEO professional, your first role should be what? You need to create traffic on the website, no matter what technology, with what technology you are working, with what mechanisms you are using. So it will continue to evolve as the technology improves and adapt to the users and vice versa. So naturally, whatever the mechanisms you are going to use, it will continue to evolve as the technology improves and user are going to adopt that particular technology. So it is reasonable that then to expect various levels of expansion and evaluation in this area. Number 1, mobile search, and with it voice search, as the world continues to increase its demand for this capability. See, nowadays you are having such kind of facility in the mobile phone that with the voice search or by speaking for particular topic using voice or audio passing, you are able to get some text or content on the mobile phone. So that is called voice recognition technique. So as on the second point we have discussed that not whatever the technology you are going to change, but the basic remains as it is. There is no changes in the basic. My only requirement is what I need to create traffic on the website. So as a SEO professional, that is my main role. So nowadays there are various level of evolution, there are various expansions. The first expansion is in the mobile search. If you want to search in the mobile, at that time voice search is the facility through which you are able to pass the audio message or audio keyword and based on the audio it will give you the output. Next is called social search. As a user begins to leverage social networks to discover new and interesting content and solutions to the problems from their friends. So social search is there which is used on the social network. Generally it is used to discover new concept and solutions about your problems. You can find it from your friends. So second type of search is known as social search, and social search is nothing but it is available on the social network. It is generally used to discover new and interesting content or the solutions of your problems. You can find it from your friends. Indexation of multimedia content. Now multimedia means what? You are going to work with the images, you are going to upload the video, you are going to download the audio clip, which includes a better understanding of content of this type of files. So multimedia content means what? When you are having a lot of content which is in the form of images or videos or audios, which includes better understanding of content. Instead of writing the theoretical portion regarding the file, but your file contains the images or videos related with the particular topic, at that time that is a good idea and you can create good traffic on the multimedia content. Next is called indexing of data behind the form. Lots of time we have discussed this point in our previous videos that you are putting your content behind the form. Right now you people are developing project based on any topic. In that also without login you are not able to perform any task or you are not able to move on to the category page, right? So you have developed certain type of website which contains data behind the form. So instead of login, without login, you are not able to perform any specific task. That is called data behind the form. Next is called extraction and analysis of Flash, JavaScript and Ajax content, Ajax based content. So extraction means we are going to separate it, right? So whatever the content you have developed using Flash files or JavaScript files or Ajax files, that content you need to extract. Why we need to extract those contents? Because we know that search engine cannot understand this type of content, whether it is written or developed with the Flash or JavaScript or Ajax. So this tool cannot be identified by the search engine crawler. So you need to extract them from the file, and you need to analyze this kind of content. Next is called localization of search. Suppose your product is based on the local area, at that time you need to improve the localization of search so that you can able to create the traffic on the website. And last is called personalization capabilities. See, Google maintains a records of your search, because once you type any keyword in the search box, so after onwards when you are going to perform any searches on the Google, at that time suggested searches would be there. So that is called personalization capabilities. So it may be possible, same for the Facebook, right? If you people are using Facebook, in that case also, suppose you have watched one video based on a particular topic, so in future whenever you are going to scroll down the page, at that time you will get suggested videos or suggested pages based on your previous search. So that is called personalization capability. So these all are the points which are related with the levels of expansion and evolution in the following areas. Now the ongoing evolution of search. Now what is the evolution you have found during the search, right? So search has come a long way and will continue to progress and faster pace. Keeping up with these changes, the competitive environment and new emerging technologies provide both a challenge and opportunity, because see, there is a huge level of competitions available in the market, because continuously technology is enhancing. So you are having a good opportunity to have this kind of technology, to use this kind of technology. At the same time, there is a biggest challenge for you people to survive in the market, because there are a huge level of competitions in the market, and as continuously the technology grows faster and faster, so you need to take a step based on the faster growing technology. The search has been evolving rapidly over the past decade. At the WSDM, the full form of WSDM is what? Web Service Distributed Management Conference, which is held in the February 2009, and one Google fellow is there, Jeff Dean, which provides some interesting metrics that tells the part of the story. And here are the metrics. Number 1, Google search volume had grown 1000 times since 1999. So approximately this survey has been performed before 20 years, right? So nowadays, if in the year 1999 the ratio has been growth up to the 1000, then nowadays you can assume and predict the level of growth. Next is called Google has more than 1000 times the machines it had in 1999. So right now it has 1000 times more machines comparative with those which is have in the year 1999. Next is called latency dropped from less than 1000 ms in 1999 to less than 2 ms in 2009. Over here we have used one term called latency. Latency is nothing but it is a delay between user's action and web application's response to that action. So whatever the action you are going to perform on the search, that action is known as latency drop. So that delay is less than the 1000 milliseconds, which is which becomes less than 200 milliseconds in 2009, and index updates latency improved by the about 10,000 times over this period, whereas updates to Google months in 1999. In 2009, Google was detecting and indexing changes on the web pages. It is just in a few minutes because people cannot wait more than the minutes. So this is all about the general observations given by the Google Fellow. Next, these are amazing chances in the Google performance power, but this is just a part of changing search environment. So you can assume how many searches are performed on the internet. Similarly, in what volume your data has been uploaded. Next is throughout the 2010 and 11, both Google and Facebook have invested in making use of social signal as well. So during this 2 years, Google and Facebook both have invested a lot of amount for providing social signals. Next is called Google dominance. Dominance means it is one of the topmost player available in the market, or we can say that nobody can beat the Google, right? So that is known as Google dominance. So we know that Google is the dominant player in the search engine market. There are thousands of posts, news and articles and analysis of pieces have covered the central topic of battling Google dominance in the web search, because there are thousands of posts or new articles are published every day. So but have few discussed the most telling example of search giants' superiority. Some also believe that Google's biggest impact is in the search engine market. It is based on its advertisement platform, which is the world's largest. Some people believe that Google is in the market, or we can consider Google as a dominant player because of advertisement, but it is not like that, because its search engine or we can say its crawler is plays very much important role to make a Google dominant player. So its advertisement platform is world's largest platform. Whatever the advertisement you have shown through the Google, that is the world's largest advertisement platform. And the official mission of Google statement is Google mission is to organize the world's information and make it universally accessible and useful. So this is the mission of Google. Google generally gives the statement like its mission is to organize world's information and arrange it in such a way that can be accessible by all the people, whether it is located at India or whether the people is located at USA. So universally it is accessible accessible and it can be useful. It will not provide simple information, right, but it will provide useful information to the user. So this is the mission of Google. Next is called new topic, which is called more searchable content and content types. Generally, that kind of content is accessible by the crawler which contains a plain text in the document. So we can say that crawler with textual content, semantically markup using HTML. So those content which you have written inside the plain text, that has been easily crawled by the crawler. There are certain types of documents which are not easily accessible by the crawler. Say for example, the content behind the form. Some content you have placed behind the form, like login is there or registration is there, so crawler cannot automatically fill up that form and cannot identify what you have placed within the form. One more content which is called multimedia, or we can say the content which contains flash files or JavaScript files, that content again are not accessible by the crawler. And scanned historical documents are being integrated into the search engine result pages, and more as search algorithms evolve in the ways that the data is collected, parsed and interpreted. So we can consider all these three types of document as a less accessible content, but search engine result pages are nowadays trying to develop such kind of algorithm using which you can collect that particular data, you can interpret that data and you can parse the form. Next is called engine will make crawling improvements. So in the year 2011, Google has announced that it had increased the capacity to execute JavaScript discover content embedded in Ajax or process forms. So nowadays most of the search engine are trying to improve their crawling activities, and in the year 2011 Google announced that they are able to execute the code or whatever the things you have placed within the JavaScript. So nowadays the crawler are able to crawl those pages. So Google are trying to solve the problems which are related with the JavaScript. In the year 2009, Google also announced that it has improved the crawling capability and they are able to perform the indexing on the place content. So whatever the limitations of search engine is there, that crawler are not able to identify the code like JavaScript or you have placed inside the flash files. So in the year 2009 and 2011, the crawler are able to easily find out the content, as well as they are able to index those content which has been placed within the JavaScript file or flash file. So another major historical limitations of search engine is dealing with the forms. So again, dealing with the forms means whatever the content you have placed within the forms, that is again one of the limitation of search engine. And engines are getting new content sources, that is the next point. So in the, as we noted earlier, Google stated the mission is to organize the world's information and make it accessible and useful. So what is the vision of Google? They are going to arrange the information. How they arrange? Based on the algorithms they have already developed, and whatever the information which is very useful for the people, as well as another mission is what? I need to provide that kind of information using which it is universally accessible. So the person who is seated on the India or in location India are able to discover the information regarding particular topic, as well as they are able to discover the topic if the person is located in the United Kingdom. So at any location or at any place in the world, you can easily accessible, you are able to easily accessible the content from the Google. So that is the mission of Google. They just need to organize the data and information and provide it into the people. But as the mission is what, they need to provide universally accessible, as well as the information is in the term of usefulness. So this is a powerful statement, particularly in the light of the fact that so much information has not yet made its way online. So there are certain informations still there which is not there in the online content. So as a part of its effort to move more data to the web, in the 2004, Google launched an initiative to the scan in the books, so that they could be incorporated into the book search engine. So again, this is a new field for the search engine, like book search field. So particularly this type of facility is given to those people who are readers or who want to read online content or online books. So Google announced the book search facility in the year 2004. So now you can scan your book and put it available on the online, and in any area or from any location you are easily able to read or access those books. So this is the initiative taken by the Google. In addition to the books, other historical documents are worth scanning. To support in that, Google acquires reCAPTCHA, and link to generate reCAPTCHA code is www.google.com. Inside that, you just need to have one folder which is called reCAPTCHA. It is working in the year 2009. So when you are going to scan any historical document, at that time you need to link it with the reCAPTCHA which is acquired by the Google. Another approach to this would be to allow media sites and bloggers to submit the content to the search engine via RSS feed. So basically reCAPTCHA is used for the historical document scanning, right? But this again allows the users, or we can say the person who belongs from the media sites or who are the bloggers, right, and they want to submit their content using RSS feed. At that time also they can use the reCAPTCHA, or we can say the link www.google.com. Inside that reCAPTCHA is there. So this particular facility is available for those people who want to scan historical documents, as well as those people who belongs from the media sites or who are the bloggers and they want to submit their document via RSS feed. They just need to use the concept of reCAPTCHA, which is acquired by the Google in the year 2009. Next is called multimedia is becoming indexable. Multimedia includes which kind of content? Like images, audios and videos. Lots of time in our previous video we have discussed that images, audios and videos cannot be crawled by the crawler, but nowadays you are having the facility of reCAPTCHA, right? So using that you are able to identify the images, and you are see, it is not currently easily indexed by the search engine, but definitely from the metadata like tag are there, what or whatever the caption you have given to the audio or video files, or whatever the descriptions you have placed within the video file or images file. So what search engine will do nowadays, they are able to collect those contents like metadata or any anchor text you have given in the inbound links. From that content, search engine are able to identify the images, audios or video files. You can also consider the reCAPTCHA. Using this site which has been given by the Google, you can make a complete digitalization of your book from the internet, and you can get all edition from the New York Times. So this have been partially digitalized using scanning of OCR software. So when you want to make your book at the platform of digitalization, you just need to use reCAPTCHA facility which has been given by the Google, and you can make your book universally available at each and every location. So that is called partial digitalization. You are going to scan your document, you are going to use OCR software. However, reCAPTCHA is assisting you. Assisting means using reCAPTCHA, it guides you by using humans to figure out what these words are and feeding them back into the database of digitalized documents. So using reCAPTCHA, you can get the information that humans are going to use your database, and they are going to make the digitalization of documents. So this is called multimedia, using which it can be easily indexable. The last topic is called search become more personalized and user influenced. As I have told you that once you are going to search for a particular topic within the either using any search engine, or say for example using social media like Facebook is there, or we can say Gmail is there, Google is there, right? So whatever the keywords you have fired or type inside the search box, so after that, say for example right now I have searched for the cake recipe on the Google, right? So in future when I am going to open that Google or Facebook account, at that time you will definitely get the related searches or related information in the Google. So search becomes more personalized, because when you are going to perform searching using any search engine or using any social media, at that time it is that data is stored inside the database of either the search engine as well as in the search as well as in the social media. So personalization efforts have been underway at the search engine for some time. The most basic form of the personalization is to perform an IP location lookup to determine where the searcher is located and gives the results based on that location. So from the IP address, the search engine are able to access your IP address, and they are going to find out on which location you belongs. So when they find out your location, it will generate local based product information. So location lookup is there, which determines, or we can say which decides that where the searcher is located. So from the all over the world, people is belong from a particular country. So from the IP address, search engine are able to determine that where the searcher is located, and once the location has been traced, it will produce result based on your location. So in this way, search engine are able to generate result based on the personalization. of the user, and they are able to convince the user. Influence means what? The user convinced. So determining user intent means we are going to decide, or we are going to determine the intent of user, for which purpose user are going to search on the internet. So if you want to get a success of internet search, at that time first of all you need to develop such kind of capability or abilities, that what is the intent of searcher. If you identify the searcher intent, at that time you can become a successful internet searcher. So the success of internet search always relate means it depends on the search engine ability to identify the searcher intent. Next is called user interaction. Interaction may be in the form of survey, in the form of asking questions, in the form of filling out the details, or in the form of questionnaires, right? Interviews, these all are the types of different interaction. So when you are going to perform user interaction, at that time you can interact with the user using different kinds of survey, using different kinds of questionnaires. You can ask them, you can meet the you can meet people personally or searcher personally. So these all are the ways of interaction. So one area that will see the survey on how user interact with the search engine. The search engine as a portal pulling and updating the news and other content based on the user preferences. Why they need to perform such kind of survey? Because based on that survey, in future search engine are able to update the news, they are able to update the information, or we can say they will provide the content based on the user preferences or based on the user requirements. So interaction is must. If I will not interact with the users, at that time I am not able to understand the requirement of customer or requirement of the searcher. So as a search engine, my first thing I need to perform is what? I just need to understand the user requirement or user preferences, and I can serve based on the references of user. Next is called new search patterns. So new search pattern is nothing but when you are going to provide that kind of content which is repeated in the eyes of customer, right? So the interest may be whatever the interest generated by the customer, it may be different, right? So you need to provide new search patterns, you need to focus on the user and typing into their intent and interest at the time of searching. Over the time, smart marketers will recognize that the attention of a potential customer is an unusual and limited quantity. So how people search and how advertisers interact with them may change dramatically as a result. So as a result, you will definitely get some changes in the layout, or we can say in the GUI. If you people observed, the logo of Google is changed frequently. Why? Because they people know that it makes a lot of impact on the searchers, right? So they know that how the people search, how the advertisers interact with them. In the very beginning of the sessions, we have discussed that F-shaped pattern, right? So that pattern is nothing but it is a new search patterns, and they people know that where to show the advertisement, or at which location if I show my advertisement, I will definitely get the customer on particular advertisement. So that can be possible using the generation of new search patterns. And last point is growing reliance on the cloud. Again, reliance is nothing but it is a dependency. So we are going, nowadays cloud is there in the market, right? If you people are aware with the cloud computing, that is a part of our IT field only. So nowadays cloud is there to store the data on the clouds. So cloud computing is transforming how the interconnected populations uses internet. So Google is interactively advancing the mass migration of the desktop computing to the cloud with the initiatives such as you are having Google Docs, Google Spreadsheets, Gmail, Google Calendar, Google Reader. You can use Google App Engine and Google Cloud Connect. So these all are the desktop computing to the clouds, and you are able to use Google Docs or spreadsheets or Gmail. These all are the facilities which has been given by the Google. So this type of services encourages user to entrust their valuable data to the cloud. You can make a trust, you can have a trust in the Google, and you can put your valuable data, you can store your valuable data on the Google cloud. In the May 2011, Apple also made a movable direction when it announced iCloud. See, when Google have started the services of cloud at that time in the May 2011, if you people are the if you people are using Apple iPhone, at that time you are having the facility of iCloud. iCloud is again a facility given by the Apple company, and that concept is announced in the 2011, which is seamlessly integrated into Apple devices. So always when you are going to use the product of Apple, at that time you are having the facility which has been automatically integrated with the Apple devices, which is called iCloud. And one of the simple example of a basic application for the cloud computing is for backing up all your data. So when there is a large number of data available on the particular devices, you just need to take a backup of that particular data, or we can say you need to take a backup of your valuable data. So when you want to store your data at some location, at that time you can use the concept of cloud computing. So this is all about our today's session. In our next session, we are going to complete our syllabus of search engine optimization, or we can say SEO. So this is all from my side. Enough for today. Thank you all.